Hello there, it's the Powerbotch Podcast. And what is the coup de grace for a wrestling match? It's the finisher. It's what can make a wrestler or break a wrestler. It's what helped Randy Orton from overcoming his very boring in-ring style and made him one of the most cheered faces or heel out there. Because, let's face it, the Randy Orton match is boring until he hits an RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it makes him.
I think of Randy Orton as the one-hit wonder.
Yeah. So we've scoured the net. We've brainstormed our brains for the top 10 crappiest finishes in wrestling. And we've ranked them for your entertainment. Let's start with number 10.
You want to give me number 10? Or
10. No,
you put the diamond cutter me there? I'm going to give you number 10. It's like, diamond cutter's not on this list. What are you doing?
I had a problem to frame my big fingers.
It's like, number 10, diamond cutter? No, it's not the diamond cutter. No, number 10, though.
10. Strikes. Especially fist strikes. There are a lot of them. The WMD from the Big Show, which is a slow punch. The brain chop from the Great Khali, which is a slow chop. Apparently it hurts a lot. The Samoan spike from Umaga. A strike with the thumb to the neck. The Cobra from Santino Marella, which is just stupid.
Yeah.
The Women's Right from Lacey Evans, which is a better WMD if you ask me.
Yeah.
The Lightning Fist from John Cena, which is... I don't even... How did you come up with this?
I think that was This it's just like Disco Stew happened to John Cena and he just crashed down on someone.
The Hard Punch by Crush and others. All of those are bad finishes because it's just a simple move. You could hit a punch anytime in a match, you know? It's... Why don't you open the match with, you know, and win? But at least it's a move that in theory connects. It's a move that could have some impact. That's why it's only number 10.
And in theory, it's an illegal move. You're not meant to. You're not meant to close fist punch in a wrestling match.
Yes. That's why the Samoan spike is the only way to go.
Yes.
Number 9.
The Lie Detector by R-Truth. You questioned my reasoning for putting this on. It's a garbage, spinny mess that we don't even know if R-Truth is hitting people with his elbow, his shoulder, his hand, his head. And we don't even know if he's hitting them on the head, the shoulder, the chest, the arm. It's just kind of like a big spin and then the match is over. And I'm like, well, what is this? What the hell? Like, what did you do? Why are they down? Why are they knocked out? What part of concussive force hit them? Was it the air?
The Headshock fans will get very mad at you.
I mean,
the spin is the most destructive move in the universe.
But did he take them down with just the cyclone of air that went through them?
Yes.
Like, it's so stupid. It's like it's one of the times where I will go like, you know what? Sometimes wrestling moves are just too flippy, and R-Truth's Lie Detector is just too spinny. You know, I would just love to know what the hell he's doing. You know.
Number 8, the check performed by the Goon. You know, at least we can see that he hits this move and what he hits it with. You know, he gets his opponent to the outside, then he gives them a board check. You know, the Goon is an ice hockey player who wrestles because I guess you need a second job. It's a hard economy. You know,
it was a hard economy.
He gives them a board check into the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, then he has to roll them back into the ring, and then he can cover them. So it's a very complicated process to get them there.
As well as that, it's also one that you can kind of see the end of every match coming because it's either going to hit the board check or he's going to get the board check reversed. You know, you know that it's kind of signifying the end of the match way too early. It's convoluted. It's just a mess. It just elongates a match for no reason.
Which leads us to number 7.
we have Warrior Splash, which is some of the old school Golden Age wrestling fans might hate me for saying. But the Warrior Splash is the stupidest splash I've ever seen. I've never seen a man get so excited, taut, ready to run, runs towards the ropes, runs towards the person, stands very still, and then jumps on them. It's like all of the momentum he brought into that there, and just stops. It's like yeah. It's like, what is that? Like,
Yeah.
It's just garbage. It's just unnecessary garbage. But apparently, because the Warrior is just so full of the Warrior's energy, it will take you down.
John, you need the lightning strike and the rocket fuel to feel the Warrior Splash!
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he is just so taut because he's just literally drank a vat of rocket fuel. Maybe that's what it is.
Number 6. The spear is a very treasured move, and it can look very brutal and impactful, and I love it. Except when Edge does it.
So you mean the gentle hug?
Yeah. I feel like Edge is going for a schoolboy, but he kind of misses his mark, and people misinterpreted it as a spear, and then he went with that. Oh yeah, I didn't botch a schoolboy. It was a spear all along.
It was a spear all along, and it got the win because I said stay down.
And, I mean, the spear is on paper a very easy move to perform,
and it can look incredible in the right hands.
It can look incredible in the right hands. I mean, I feel like it takes talent to make it look that bad.
Yeah.
And Adam Copeland, Edge, is a fantastic wrestler, but he's stuck with the spear for like decades in his career. I don't see why he has this move. It's stupid.
Do you know what the problem is? He goes down on his knees instead of leaps into it. So he goes down on his knees and kind of like takes his momentum away by going down on his knees and then taking the person down on the ground where they are. Where like when you see someone like Rhino who does the gore, he leaps at them and his feet physically leave the ground and he travels in the air for a hot second, and just Edge just goes like, okay, it's time to get on my knees like a cheap hooker. Let's do this. You know, it's one of those ones where that one modification ruins the actual move.
Number 5.
We have the Playmaker or the Ozone, and let me tell you, it's the best move in the world if you want to just knee the ground. Because what the hell is that move? How is that meant to damage anyone? So let me put my leg over your neck and shoulder and head. Let me get your arm, and then let me turn you. But as we're turning, I just really heavily knee the ground. But you're safe, though, because I've cushioned all of the impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of the finishes Randy Orton had. He had a crossbody, then he had the Ozone. Finally found the RKO.
Finally found his trusty weapon, and
but yeah, they used the Ozone for Randy Orton, and years later they had this new fresh guy, MVP. Hey, we have this really crappy finishing move that would be perfect for you.
Yeah, it's like you got like a charisma. You're a real shit heel. You're getting people angry. Let's make them more confused by you just kneeing the ground.
Number 4. You know, back then there was a guy called Yokozuna.
Yes.
And he was a very, very heavy man. And he used to win by dropping his gigantic bum on people's rib cages, possibly killing them. It's neither here nor there. Take away 500 pounds from Yokozuna. Don't jump on a opponent lying on the ground, but just, put your bum in the midsections when they run at you or something like that.
Just put your bum in their face essentially, but like as they run.
It's a move called, she calls it the rear view. Naomi's rear view is, I mean, I can see it as a transitional move.
Yeah.
But as a finisher?
Asuka does it as well, but it's not a finisher. Asuka does do a version of it, but she runs at you and then hits you with it, where Naomi stands still and lets you run into her.
And I feel like if you want to hit an opponent with anything, you want to hit him with something hard. That's why you use a fist that has knuckles.
Yeah.
She uses a very soft part of her body, if you want to be honest.
Let me just be clear here. She can review me any day. But anyway, it's one of those situations where it's not going to be very impactful with the way she does it. You weren't expecting that at all, were you?
Let's use this transitional move to get into number 3.
Let's get a little bit. Let's take a theatrical approach to things. Why don't we? Why don't we put a bit of pomp and circumstance into our finishers? Why don't we just run across the ring like you're trying to do laps at a sports day, and then realize that you're meant to actually finish the opponent? Stop. Do a wee jig and then an elbow, or maybe you just want to do some swishy after you've done the worm. We're talking about theatrical finishers. This is like the people's elbow. This is the worm, which has now been redone by Otis these days. It used to be done by Scotty Too Hot.
Hottie?
Yes, Scotty. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was Scotty Too Hot or it was someone else. But yes, they are again much like the Warrior Splash. It's a lot of running and momentum that just stops out of nowhere. Lots of pomp and circumstance, and then a hit that really realistically wouldn't knock anyone out. People's elbow hits someone in the chest, and that's kind of like what we said earlier about the strikes. It's like it's like the hard punch. It really shouldn't knock a person out. Or you have the worm, which is just a slap or a chop. It's just theatrical garbage.
I mean, at least the Warrior Splash with all the theatrics, he dropped his whole body weight on his opponent in kayfabe.
Yeah.
That's a little more.
Fuel. Like, he had that in the rocket fuel, Don't forget, he's got the rocket fuel in him. That's what makes him so taut. Where...
I mean, you can use moves like that. There's a right way to use them. Think of the 5-knuckle shuffle or whatever Cena calls it these days.
Yeah, it's transitional thing. It kind of it wakes a person up in a daze so he can then do his other crap move instead of finishing the match,
Yeah. Number 2, the Sextination. I don't know what it is, but at least he hit him.
I remember that.
What is a Sextination, John?
It kind of looks like someone went in for... it looks like Byron Saxton kind of goes in for... It's hard to explain, but it kind of looks like he went for like a neck breaker, and then went, oh no, it's not a neck breaker. I'm trying to do maybe a guillotine. Oh wait, no wait, I'm just gonna fall. I'm just gonna fall and bring them gently down with me. It's such a I can't explain it. It's just it's unparalleled garbage.
It looks like he came up with it on the spot and had indecision paralysis, but he kept using it.
Yeah.
We don't know why. But this move is a good reflection of his commentary style, so.
A lot of flash and no substance.
It's a very complicated finisher. It doesn't look like it is very painful to take. I mean, it's bad all around, but not as bad as our number 1. They say a submission move brings a lot of tension in a wrestling match. It can heighten the stakes. It can make you want to see someone tap out or muster up their last bit of power to escape. But who could ever escape the technical masterpiece that is John Cena's STFU? A move that is famous for John Cena not touching you. You know those pictures of like guys like with girls and they do the hover move?
Oh yeah,
not touching them, but just hovering.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what John Cena is doing here. When he locks in the STFU, he's very wary about not locking in the move.
Yeah, he's just gently having a little lie down on the person's back. It's kind of like if a couple were trying to be cute and one partner was lying on the other one's back while in bed watching TV. It's very romantic. I don't know if it's very deadly or very submissive though.
If all those guys who were made to tap out to the STFU have brought great shame to their families.
Great shame.
You know, a certain personality on the internet says the Young Bucks are killing the business, Ricochet is killing the business. Well, this shit is killing the business. It's breaking the suspension of disbelief because it's such utter crap.
Such garbage. Even Blue in the chat there's a saying that's seen as STFU is worse, dare I say, than the cross-faced chicken wing. Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that one, Blue. It's a terrible garbage move. It is. What can you say? There's just nothing to it. It's not even a submission. He doesn't cinch it in. In fact, Austin give him crap for not cinching it in on his podcast.
Yeah, rightfully so.
and like Cena was kind of laughing, and he was like, "No, I'm serious. Cinch it in." Like one of those ones. It's like, no, I'm not. This is not a joke. Do the fucking move properly. And he made Wade Barrett. I think was that the thing that Wade Barrett went into on like the height of the Nexus. Was that the thing that stopped the Nexus in their track? Was that? I'm near sure it was.
He must have used that on them. Yeah.
I think that was like at the first time they went. Remember, it was like Team WWE versus Team Nexus. I think he literally quashed the Nexus run with that move.
Yeah.
Just the symbolism in that there is just staggering.